3, 2, 1.
The Great Christmas Light Fight is on!
Ho, ho, ho! The 2026 Florida Mega Mini! The premier conference for DIY Christmas and holiday lighting. It's enthusiast, driven, and community-focused. It's Christmas magic, not hocus pocus! The 2026 Florida Mega Mini. A trainload of experiences for the lighting community. With a steam train full of experiences that will baffle. Intensive classes,
professional workshops,
insightful demonstrations, and an exciting raffle. The train junction offers amenities for its passengers. A band, a vendor hall, designed for attendees to enhance their knowledge, networking with peers, and exploring shopping opportunities. Jump aboard the Polar Express and join us in Plant City. It's not a small meeting, it's a mega mini. Learn more than your mind can conceive. The bell still rings for those who truly believe.
Man, I learned so much this past week in Florida, in Plant City, strawberry capital of the United States, where they grow about 30% of our strawberries in the winter months. How amazing. I got to put that statistic down in my Light Fight fact book and put it in the archives for the library. Hey, folks, I'm back. I know you got to see me twice on a live from the Florida Mega Mini. That's right, the 2026 Florida Mega Mini. And let me tell you, it was an amazing, outstanding event. I wondered how they would step it up again after last year's Light Fight focused feature with Tanya Naya, and they did not disappoint. Just as many vendors, probably more vendors, just as many people, maybe more people, and great entertainment. Mr. Mike Williams, I'll talk about him later. And speaking of entertainment, the Librarian is going to have some today. That's right. I got some great videos I made to recap to show you what you might have missed if you weren't there, or if you were there to bring back your memories. And you probably saw it in that intro. That was just some cool stuff that we put together. But I also got some other entertainment. I got some special guests, 3 of them, as a matter of fact. 3 of the board members from the Florida Mega Mini. And we'll bring them in a minute and let them talk about things they want to talk about, what they think went great, what they think could be worked out for next year, and maybe they'll give us some tips about next year. Yes, the new theme was announced for next year already, and if you don't know it, we'll let you know here at the end. But I didn't have this on the road, and I felt absent without it, but the Librarian is never in until he's in. So let's do this. Put him over here. By the way, the event was held at a church, and Jesus was with us. You might see this guy a little later in a video. And hey, give you a hint right here. Check it out. I'll tell you where I got that from. All right, let's kick it off. Let's get into this library here. Let's bring in some special guests, and then we'll check in on the comments. So if you like what you're seeing, hit like, hit subscribe, smash that thumbs up button, share the word, and let's listen. We got a lot of people joining in. So let's let my guests join in, and let me bring in the rest of the crew here from the 2026 Florida Mega Mini. Look at this.
Hey.
Tom Stallings,
Hey.
Fred Hoekstra, and Norm Carl Mursky,
Norm?
the voice of the Florida Mega Mini. How you guys doing tonight?
Tired.
Doing good.
I mean, I see you're all hanging out in the same living room, you missed each other as if you didn't hang out enough in Plant City. So thanks for joining tonight. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate the hard work you guys and the rest of the board and the committee. And we'll thank them in a moment for another great Florida Mega Mini. I was glad I got to make it with the librarian's better half, Kimberly Michael. And even better, I was glad I got to teach a class and you guys squeezed me in last minute. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right, now we're going to check in on the comments soon. We got a few coming in. We'll see who's joining. We got people joining in as well. Remember, hit the like, hit the subscribe, smash the notifications button so you want to know when we're coming on live. But I think to kick things off, I got to get official here and put on my my badge. All right, they're really cool this year. The Polar Express was the theme, and maybe we'll kick that off. Tom, how'd you guys pick the theme? I know we're going to talk about what next year's theme is, but how does the theme come up?
So we discuss it every year. So we go through movies that, that are popular, and when we decide which ones we've done previously, and as a group, we decide that that's going to be the next year's theme. Polar Express came up because we always like to announce it at the, this year's event, what next year's going to be. So we knew Polar Express was going to be there before the last Mega Mini, and we picked it then, and then we start to build our momentum for that. As far as like the logo and things like that, the logo portion came from Juan Alvarez. As far as the badges, Jordan Nash, of course, took off of that. Some of the ticket came from a guy that I know that broke apart that ticket into vectors. It's the only vectorized copy that I know. So it's the one thing about the Florida Mega Mini is we're all everybody's got their niche and things they work on, and we all work together as a good team. We have a big team.
Group effort. Absolutely.
Very group effort.
It was a great team. Matter of
fact,
fact,
the group,
why don't we pop up the team and we'll break it down into kind of how you have it on the website. So for those joining, get your comments in. We'll check in on a minute, see what you're thinking. If you have a question for the crew here, ask that as well. But the board, it starts with the board, and look at that guy there on the left with the spiky hair, man. Sharp looking dude. But we gotta, Fred, why don't you talk about the board a little bit, since Tom just kicked us off with how you came up with the theme.
So Tom and I are co-presidents. We kind of help out with decision making and whatnot. Calvin, he's doing vice president work. He helps out with some of the lodging and food things. Mickey and Minnie, they're part of the board, of course. They help out with registration, emceeing, a number of things, forward facing, when they're the first faces that you see when you walk into the Mega Mini.
And they are some more than faces when you register. I mean, they're your MCs for the event too, so dual purpose.
Yep.
By the way, it's I don't know, it's maybe the event's so good because it has 4 light fighters on the board.
Maybe.
I'm partial about that. So
I'm singled out.
Come on, Fred. Let's go.
You're up next, Fred.
We they did a great job. They're all so friendly, and whenever we get there and walk in, and I think if your guests come in, everything was coordinated, organized. And if you want to talk about how, when you come in, there's just 300 badges roughly. How does that get? How long does that take? How long does that get coordinated? What do you guys kind of tools do you use?
Well, I have to give a lot of credit to Tom. He's spent hours upon hours creating some sophisticated platform tools for our event, where as people are registering, it outputs to some data, and then that data, along with some other parameters that we've set, where if you're a 2-day attendee, if you're a volunteer, if you're a vendor, it gives you a category. And that then goes to our badge printer about 2 weeks prior to the event. So we have to create some that are blank for last minute attendees.
Yeah, I know you guys were like I was surprised. I was thinking about last year, and it seemed like you guys kept the registration site open up pretty close, like even to ordering T-shirts till fairly the last minute. So you gave people a chance to participate. So I know you're busy. I know Tom, you're always rolling around there. I don't even know if you get to enjoy any of the classes. You're always so busy checking in on things.
So, fun fact, I've taught some classes. I've been in one for a little bit, but just like Fred, I don't think we've ever actually attended a class in
Not from start to finish. No.
Yeah, like 8 or 9 years
Yeah.
we've been doing this.
I know
never been
somebody's
through
got to
one,
man the fort. I'm glad you came into the roundtable a little bit. We'll talk about that in a little minute. But speaking of talking, there's a guy that likes to talk almost as much as me. We got Carl Mirsky up there, the voice of the Florida Mega Mini. Carl, can you tell us about how you are involved and some of the things you did? I think it was pretty entertaining.
I have no idea. I don't know if I'm the voice of the Mega Mini, but I'm there in the background, right? So I think I started doing this 3 or 4 years ago. I was asked to come in and help and do some audio work and do some live streams, and I was asked to participate as the voice in the background for some of the shows that are phenomenal, by the way, and working with these guys. So it really is a team effort. I enjoy doing it. Yeah, that's pretty much about it. Whatever they need me to do, I come and I help. And Fred and Tom are just awesome to work with.
Yeah, so Carl was doing, for you viewers joining, we'll check in the comments in a minute. Carl, live on the floor, was doing interviews. We were supposed to do one, but we just got tied up. So he was doing walk-arounds. Fred was doing walk-arounds. He also did a lot of the voice work for the introductions and for the entertainment. And you're also a vendor, right? Jingle bumpers, correct?
I am a vendor. Yep.
So a lot of
a couple of
vendors,
hats.
A lot of vendors. We'll talk about vendors because, as you guys know, I always pitch it when I talk about a mini on here. A lot of the things that happen to keep it affordable and exciting can't happen without vendors. But we'll talk about them shortly. But we've reintroduced the board. Let's talk a little bit about some of the other committee members, if you want to call some of those out, because they were all there, and you mentioned a few of them. But how do these people get involved? And then beyond that, if somebody wants to get involved for 2027, how do they do that?
So committee members, it's kind of convoluted. Some of it is by chance. We've identified, their strengths, and other times they've approached us and they want to offer up help. We've actually been approached by many people, offering help, and we love it. We love it. I wish we could give someone a task, everyone a task that can help out. It just, we have to narrow it down to some select so we can have some sort of order. But Carl is in charge of education. So he's out, wrangling all the best teachers, trying to set up the schedule, giving tips, tricks, techniques of, hey, answering questions like, well, I need 30 minutes or I need 60 minutes. Well, can you cut it down? Or, hey, can you do this time slot and then repeat it at another time? There's a different number of things that has to go with that. Bouncing off ideas like, hey, should we do an FPP class on this, or should we build, talk about that, and it kind of bounces off ideas off of us. Jordan Nash, he is our AV go-to guy. He's running the show. He's helping us with sometimes like video promotional videos, all the video stuff that goes in the back. With the show. He does a compilation of all our attendee displays. So much like X-Lights around the world, when you register for the event, if you include a link to your like a YouTube link to your display, and everything is working order, we compile that and show that at the event. Who else is on there? The Big Does, Diane, Bill, and Tony. Bill and Tony have worked a lot with us on the build classes. This year is kind of a little bit slower, but Diane's been a big part about the handling the food, like snack bar, the mocktail hour. Circling back to Mike Utter, he also helps us with like coordinating a pipe and drape rental, some of the lighting rental. He also worked with some of the lighting cues previous years. This year he couldn't be as involved as he wish he could. He's super swamped with his work schedule. Dave Castle returned this year. He was in charge of getting vendors, organizing where they're going to be, setting up the vendor hall, making sure everything's in order. Everybody's got a table. Everybody's got power. Last year, we weren't as prepared, and we were setting off tripping off breakers because there's too much at each vendor
I don't
booth.
remember that.
Yeah,
Maybe that's a good thing.
Happened behind the scenes. Bob McDowell, this is actually his church where he attends, and he knows all the facility very well. He's in charge of the, like I said, facility liaison, but he also is the one that sets up the stage. So all the props, all the lighting, a big part of the sequencing, mapping all the sequences to the stage. He's part of that.
And he's a vendor now.
Also a vendor, yep.
Yep.
Chris Ward is leading the raffle area, that be setting up the room, organizing what is going to be in, how many winners for each raffle. Him and an assistant, they're drawing numbers, inputting it into, again, the wonderful system that Tom has built, organizing cards, a handout, like all that critical part of it. Russell, he's kind of he's an all-around guy. He's emceed for us a couple game shows. He's done some award ceremonies before. He's kind of another stagehand for us, kind of another MC for us. And then Juan Alvarez, he's doing some more graphics for us. Like Tom said, graphics for our t-shirts, some other little web graphics as well. So there's a little bit of everything.
Like the things on the doors, the flyers on the doors of the classrooms, and
a lot of talented people, and
a lot of talented people.
A couple more light fighters on there, man. This is a reason to go if you were interested in talking. So, no, really great. The shirt's great. I would wear it, but this is kind of my uniform, as you know. But the shirt's really nice. I like it. Matter of fact, a couple days before, I wore last year's shirt, the Grinch one, and a couple days before that, I wore the Grinch one. So that's about all I have. I know there's
we should hold a competition of who brings the oldest Mega Mini shirt.
There you go.
Then Russell and Ken from Wired Watts can shoot him out of the air cannon like they were doing.
Yeah, they turn to dust as they go out.
Yeah. Let's check on some comments. We got some comments. Some people want to say hi and see some things. So let's see what we got, and then we'll get back to the meat of it. But Troy from the North Pole Village. This guy's always first into my lives, and I thought he was a bot at first, but he's not. He has a very northern display, and he has lots of snow he wants to give away. Here's somebody who did sign up to go. That is a past light fighter from last year, Bill Riera, but had a family emergency and paid and bought his airline tickets and everything and had to pull out. So he felt really bad, but he'll be back. He's planning on coming next year. Mm-hmm. Hopefully no troubles. Nope. We got another past light fighter joining us, Patrick Mock from his new YouTube channel, Lone Star Christmas. He's going to be putting out some how-tos down the road. Thank you, Patrick. Devin Blanchard is joining up from the Northeast. Great to have you, Devin. I know you're pushing some Coro you got from, I think, Bascoyo for your display this year. Oh, we got Steven joining us, Griswold Richburg. It was an amazing time. I was looking forward to meeting you, Steven, at the SoCar Mini, which we know is not happening. Russell announced that, but there'll be other minis. There's other ones coming up. Maybe we can talk about them here, but thank you for joining. Oh, speaking of, how ironic. Russell McFarland.
There he is.
There he is.
Russell.
I might have to bring up a recap and show the Russell dance from last year. And then Devin wants to teach a class next year. You got to get there first, Devin. You got to get there.
Talk to him up there.
Talk to me. I'm the guy.
Carl's your education guy. You can start talking now and prepping for next year.
I can't. Listen, I've asked Fred and Tom every year if they would do a class, and they keep turning me down. So
hey, I did a class last year.
I was actually late
to see Tanya because of it.
That is true. That is true.
It's hard to do a class. It's hard to come up with a topic. I kind of do my theme and switch it around, but there's other things I could teach, and maybe I'll do that. Some of it's more about getting the material together. But by the way, Russell, the board with 4 light fighters and someone so famous, their first is on a $1 million bill. Fred Bucks.
I think
you're going to see that in one of the highlight videos.
Fred Bucks.
Hey, look, we got a vendor joining us. Wonder if that's Jason from SFL.
Jason Sisk, yeah. Hey, Jason.
Jason.
Thanks for showing me some of your great inventions you have there to help those in the lighting community, and thanks for joining. Monty Small joining. He's been to a few minis. He hasn't been to the Florida Mega Mini yet. He's been to the Ohio Mini. But good to have you, Monty. Oh, got another attendee and past light fighter joining, Mr. Brad Lunar.
Yay.
Look at my pictures with the
Hey,
burgers.
Brad.
Oh, speaking of strawberries, we got Bob McDowell joining.
Good morning.
Great to have you,
Good
Bob.
morning.
Strawberries. You missed
Yeah.
one thing. Bob brought fresh strawberries right from the patch, and we're giving them out at his vendor table.
Yeah.
And
They were
speaking
good,
of
too.
vendors and light fighters, Michael Simmons joining from Tune 2. It was great
Hey,
to see
Michael.
you again there. And thank you for teaching a class. Thank you for being a vendor.
Season 1 light fighter.
Yeah, season 1.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of other light fighters, well, we got Bill again. Can he use his tickets for next year? I don't know. We can talk about that in a minute. Probably not, but maybe they can work something out. I meant to click on Michelle.
Is that Bill
Well,
Rivera?
Bill Riera, yeah.
I think he emailed me. So, yeah, I think I told him he can just move him to next year.
That'd be nice if you could do it. Like I said, he
Yeah.
bought everything and then had a family emergency. So I'm sure you can work something out. Thank you for joining, Michelle. It's a family affair. Of
course, Candace.
is watching. I just wonder if they're in separate rooms. Although I saw they went on to the Universal afterwards, after the Florida Mega Mini.
Yeah. That must mean Russell's still around, too, because he lives in Florida now. So,
Yep.
And then Kim's joining, my wife. And just like I do
I
at the
know
events,
her.
I'm known for leaving her somewhere. I left her upstairs as I do the show today. But she had a great time. She always has a great time. And she really, enjoys hanging out with all you folks and the other people. That's one of the best parts of the mini is hanging out. Oh, and Brad says they went to Disney too. We just came home and got stuck in an airport. Who else do we got? Another presenter, Chris Lawton joining. He did a class on mega trees.
Chris?
So it was great meeting you, Chris, and thank you for following me and joining the show. Really appreciate that. What else we got? Jordan Blaze Sharp. You didn't make it this year, Jordan, did you? I don't think you did.
Never, no.
Yeah. So, hey, thank you for getting those comments and get a few more in. I mean, get a lot more in. We want to talk to you. We want to know what you want to know. We want to share the wealth. So, speaking of sharing the wealth, let me pop this up a second. Part of the goodie bags. So there was this nice little pouch in there, which I'm going to use to put cords and cables in. Came with a few things in it, but one of the coolest things, it was themed the Polar Express. We got a little mini keychain train whistle. All aboard. That was cool. There were some stickers. Oh, I got this from I Like That. From Baldrick Boards, all the way from the UK. I mean, we had an international.
International.
Somebody from
The
Italy,
largest. It's the largest international Mega Mini.
It is.
Yeah, it's
You
the
even said that in
largest
my song. We'll have to
international
talk about my
DIY
song.
event, yeah.
Got a cool little keychain too. I didn't take it out of the pack yet, but it has the logo on it. That's cool.
Oh, mine was missing that.
I
See who made those?
got a Florida Mega Mini screwdriver. So since
Mine
I
was
won
missing that
Pixels,
too.
I won Pixels. I'm good. One of the attendees that I'm friends with drove from New Jersey to there, so I won 2 big bundles of Pixels. No way I could have took them on the plane. He drove them home for me, and he's going to give them to me at the East Coast Christmas conference.
That's awesome.
There's other stuff in here. Oh, speaking of intensives and classes, did any of you get any Ron Howard coins?
I did not. That's pretty awesome.
I do.
Hey,
I have my
They're
Ron
not
Howard
worth
coin.
as much as Fred Bucks. They're not worth as much as Fred Bucks. Speaking of classes, let's pop this up real quick. We talked about the board and the committee members. We did have intensive classes, and I want to thank those instructors because they're putting in several days before the event starts and doing 8 to 16 hours. Plus, some of them did additional classes at the general conference. So thank you to Ron Howard, Drew Hickman, Bill Porter, Patrick Delaney, Barry Wiles, and Dan Culp. All great people, all great classes. How do you come up with the intensive topics? Is that another one where somebody submits something? I know it's usually normal to have a Lightorama and an X-Lights class, but how do some of the others come up?
Really, they come up with it. So, we decide if we're going to, because we can't just let everybody teach an intensive. So they got to fit the bill, and they decide what content. We just make sure they don't conflict with each other. You know, with the classes. So we don't want everybody teaching sequencing or everybody teaching this or everybody teaching that. So it's got to be unique, and I think for the most part we did a great job with that this year, and it was a big hit with all the classes. So.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I haven't taken an intensive yet, although now that I have pixels, I might have to learn X-Lights. I did install X-Lights on my computer at the Mini at C, so I could do, I showed it there, the hat that I did there, which was available there. But now I need to learn how to program it. But yeah, thank you to those. Let me make sure I remove that here. Speaking of, I didn't make a screen for it, but there was also, besides the intensive, we talked about builds. You could build a board, a Baltric board, and then Jason, since he's on, hosted a build class. Cara, why don't you talk about that since you set up the education? What were some of the build classes, and what was the feedback on them?
So the two build classes, I think Jason had, was he the first day or the second day? I couldn't remember.
First day.
He was the first day, right? And
Yep.
Jason is really he's got SFL, and I think his class he must have had. I wasn't in there. I don't know how many people were in there, but I think it was pretty well
Yeah, it
populated.
was like 15 or something like that.
Was it? Was it?
Yeah, it was the mini me pixel seed tree.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a great looking build class. Looked fun, and I guess it broke down good enough too that if you traveled, you could probably put it in a duffel bag. Maybe I don't know how far it broke down.
So this is what a cool guy he is, right? So they did the trees. He had his tree as his mock-up, right, that he was using to build, and then he said, "Look," he says, "I want to go ahead and give this away as a prize." So that's the kind of person he is, right? So it's really cool. I mean, and seed pixels are really starting to take off too. So, what he's doing with them, and what we were talking about Bob before, what they're doing with the seed pixels, I think we're starting to see more and more of those in the community. But if
there was a friendly debate, are they seeds? Are they pebbles? 5 volts, 12 volts?
Seeds or pebbles?
See, I know this stuff, even though I'm a traditional guy.
And Jason, if you come up with a concept, he'll come up with a concept for pretty much anything to print. So, yeah, we did his class, and then they had, of course, the Baldric class, which was Wired Watts. He went ahead and did that, and the Baldric boards are another. They've been around now for a couple of years, and they're starting to take off. So we always see some innovative things that come to the Mega Mini that maybe it's the first time they've ever seen them.
And the Baldric boards, I like that, who were a vendor this year, came all the way from England. So
from England.
They came from this was the first year in a couple of years that Keith Wesley didn't come from Australia, but you guys kept it going and bringing international attendees.
Yep.
Speaking of we're going to talk about Mike Williams a little later, the entertainment, but let's hit on some of the vendors since we're talking around those same things, and get your comments in, hit like, hit subscribe, and you had some great sponsors, and we won't name them all specifically, but we're going to show them. But why don't we talk? There's some bigger, I'll call them bigger ticket items, if you will. Maybe I'm not saying that right, but we want to thank the people that sponsored, dinners and lunches and breakfasts and some of that. So not sure if you guys want to give any shout out to any of these or want to mention anything specific about them, but we really do appreciate the food all day long, the drinks all day long, great lunches, great dinners, great entertainment, and goodie bags and all that good stuff. Whoops.
Yeah, we appreciate every single one of those vendors and sponsors. That they are critical to the event to make things, keep costs down and make for an awesome event. It really is important to us.
Yep.
Yeah, it was like I said, we had the Chick-fil-A for lunch the one day. That's always a good lunch. I think it was Papa John's Pizza the next day, and then the Carrabba's for dinner, for the Polar Express dinner. Let me pop up some of the other vendors here. Let me find my little thing here. And it's going to cover you guys, I think. But, there were a lot. How many vendors and sponsors were there total, roughly? Anybody have a number?
Oof.
Not off the top of my head, but I think it was 30.
I was thinking 25, but 30 sounds about right too.
Yeah, I think it was 30.
How does
31 vendors.
I know that's Dave Dave Castle kind of spearheaded that. Let me see if this still shows when I pop this up. I don't think it does. I don't think it'll let me cover that video. But what do you do? I mean, I know some of this is friendships and year after year, but it's
Again,
kind of got to be like cold calling. How do you get a vendor on board?
Again, it's a group effort. Dave is calling vendors that would be interested in booths and telling them what we do. We do a whole vendor hall package, so they know what they're going to be getting, what are the offerings and booth sizes, and then it's kind of a group effort with sponsorships. We also have anyone that knows about the event or learns about the event can go to our website and fill out a sponsorship request form, and then we work with them to try to bring in some raffles or some gift certificates, and in turn they become a sponsor, and that's how everybody wins. With the raffles, it also generates some funds for the event, and also some of those sponsors and vendors offer a discount for their products. So then the attendees win by getting discounts or free shipping or whatnot. So it's a whole full circle.
And we
they do a great job.
And we picked up. I was going to say we had some new vendors this year too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
We got
quite a
some
few
people
new
from
vendors.
Canada, some other sequencers that starting off. There's a lot of people that helped us out this year.
Yep.
Yeah. So we appreciate it, vendors. If you're watching, I know a few of you were. Thank you again. I know you hear it over and over, but really, really is appreciated, especially, keeping costs down for the attendees to come and continue to buy your products and so forth. Let me see here. You're chatting me. I'm breathing heavy.
That was me, I think.
It might be me.
Mic.
I'm looking in the private chat. It's hard controlling. I don't have a
could be,
stream
yes.
deck or all that stuff like Jordan Ash does. By the way, Jordan we were going to do a private tour, but we just got to talking later because we all got busy. And just that control area to make what happens on the stage, it's insane. I mean, what a talent. And then you had volunteers from the First Baptist Church helping out not only with sound, but with other things. Anything you want to say about the actual facility and the people that run it, or give a shout out to them, Tom?
Yeah, I mean, so Ed, the pastor there, is always a help of putting things together, but there's also Randy, the facilities guy. There's Dave Morris, who runs the video board and soundboard, and he's on our chats the whole time. We're talking about the dinner, and the whole dinner show is a whole plan in itself, really. So there's a lot of moving pieces that people don't realize in the back that goes on with this for months.
Let's not forget Bob's sister Leslie.
Yeah,
who
Bob's
also
sister
has
Leslie
a
was
display.
huge, helping with the dinner. She just started her display recently, so she helped out with organizing the church crew of serving dinner, and as well as everything else.
It was nice to have them involved. The facility's awesome. Speaking of the facility, just for those who've never been there, just kind of this map. I don't know what you can see it on a screen, especially if you're on a phone, but they're adding on to this facility. The classrooms are updated with nice new TVs, and the sound systems in the big rooms is super impressive. The restrooms are nice and clean. And next year, when they have the second floor totally open, I think it's going to give more opportunities. But you could see we really occupied a big amount of space there. And then the vendor hall itself, when you came in on either side, was a great size. And it's become known, frankly, as probably the best vendor hall of not only all the minis, but even some of the main trade show conferences. So kudos to you guys for getting that set up, and kudos to First Baptist Church for letting us use such a great facility, and Bob for getting it set up. Appreciate that, Bob. All right. Let's check in on some comments, and then I think I'm going to play a video next. But got some great comments in. Who do we got joining here? We got Ray Horton joining. EFL and Showstoppers for the win. Sure thing. It was great seeing you, Ray. Ray, what else do we got? Oh, geez. Brad saying they're fairy lights. not pebbles, not. And Jason's, he's on the seed side. And then Russell lost the SFL tree in a contest because he couldn't identify bananas. That's banana in the box game. We're not going to do that live.
Banana in a box.
Banana in a box game.
No, not today. Banana in a box. That's all I can say.
Chris, who taught the Megatree class, very well received. I think you did it twice, and you had so much you didn't even get to make it through the whole class when I was in there. But it was a great information. Brad's going to teach me how to get my pixels up and going once I get them here in a couple of weeks. Joseph Gonzalez is joining us. Joe is an aspiring mega display person out in Kansas, and he's been following the channel and building up his display, and hopefully we'll get you to a mini. Candace, she wants Fred Bucks.
Oh, I meant to mention, I don't know if you guys realize this, but there's a lot of product announcements this year.
Yeah.
Is there anyone you want to call out specifically? I mean, we don't have any vendors.
LOR came out with a couple. Who else was it, Carl?
Yeah, the PPD, the Easy RGB.
PPD.
They had theirs.
Mm-hmm. And then I believe SFL had something new.
There were a lot of announcements. I know LOR had a new.
I like that.
I like that with the giant board.
Largest controller that worked.
That was in my video. You saw that in the beginning.
And then Bob had a couple new props. So,
this is why Nuno says FMN is the best mini ever.
Thanks, Nuno.
Thanks, Nuno.
Brad, thanks to the vendors. Yep. Bob.
I don't know if you guys do this, but there was a class where that Justin McCown did that for the pixel repair, and nobody knew this because we weren't allowed to tell, but it actually came with a notebook. Yeah, for the class.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah, the pixel repair,
and then it came with a really nice case,
a leather pouch,
a thing for the
Scotch box,
Scotch box, and things like that. So yeah, that was really unexpected and cool. So
I got to tell you, that class, Jason and I talked about
for that, sponsoring that class or part of that class.
We talked about that class, and he really wanted to do that. And we thought it was a great idea. So it was kind of a build class, kind of a regular class. And when you attend the Florida Mega Mini, you never know what you're going to get.
That's right.
You don't. You can win anything, especially in the raffles or in the classes or the giveaways. Yep. Jeff, he helps run another Mega Mini coming up. Not a Mega Mini, it's a normal Mini, but it's getting big, the Ohio Mini. We had a bunch of the Ohio folks there. Supporting another event and learning and trying to help.
Indiana, New Jersey was there.
Indiana, New Jersey.
Yeah.
I think
they had a lot of people that run other minis coming so they can get schooled from the Florida Mega Mini. But it's great to see them. What else do we got here?
Just kidding.
All right. By the way, Brad, thanking the church again. We do want to thank the church. So if I miss comments here, don't worry. I'll catch up to them. Continue to put more. It's hard to monitor this stuff when you do it yourself. But hey, before we move it on, there were great classes. There were roughly, I don't know, what was there, over 40 classes, Carl?
It was about 40 classes that we had in half a dozen rooms, I think. Yeah,
I mean, just one of the complimentary complaints we always get is there's so many classes that I want to attend. Why are they all happening at the same time? And it's something that we struggle with all the time. This year we did repeat one or two classes, I believe. But it's really hard to figure out what classes are going to be like a big hit, and we try our best, but it's a jam-packed schedule, and we wish we could repeat every single class at different times. It's so much. It's so much information.
It makes it tough, and to be fair, there are some classes that only get a few participants in because of the topic or because it's timing. So it is hard to rotate it because we'd have to probably add another day to the mini. But I mean, folks, if you've never been, I know it's an eye chart here, but this is the schedule. I mean, it's 2 pages. It takes Carl and the committee weeks to get this coordinated, to not only source all the presenters, but to put it together and slot them in the rooms and reorganize stuff. Apparently, the church was doing additions and some rooms got shut down on the second floor because they were getting ready to finish up inspections from the city and the state. So
on Mondays,
it's very challenging.
On Monday,
before the
event, we realized, we finally got word that the elevator wasn't going to be able to be in use. So we had to make a decision. So we literally redesigned the entire event on Monday before the event with the whole crew and worked everything out. There were some give and takes, and even the church, had to do some giving and taking. And all in all, I mean, nobody knew that. So
Yeah, I mean, getting
I thought
thrown
that
a
was awesome.
curveball like that a couple days before, and nobody would even know. Although that second floor, I'm not going to lie, Tom, when you told me that, I was excited to go into the room. The one
Yeah.
room I presented in just had, your 55-inch or whatever side TV, and I was like, man, I would love to present in a big screen. So when I got one of the intensive rooms, the one that Ron used with 3 screens, I was like, oh, this is awesome. Then Tom goes, you should have seen the room you were going to be in upstairs. It literally had like a movie theater screen.
Yeah, it was like a 20-foot, like 2.4 pitch screen. Yeah, it was
Video wall, a whole video wall.
whole video.
Oh, maybe next year. Maybe next year. But
Next year.
hopefully you'll entertain me here. I like to mix in some videos. This isn't self-promotion, but I did get to teach a class too, and I got to host the roundtable last minute. Last year we had Tanya Nyack and Felicia Aaron White, and Felicia hosted the roundtable. And I signed up to teach a class. I signed up to teach Believe, the Librarian's Itinerary for a TV-Ready Display, and it has a lot of fun facts. You guys are called out in there in some of my fun facts. But I got to host the roundtable. Tom goes, "Oh, good, you're coming. You're hosting the roundtable." I'm like, "What roundtable?" So, in my kind of style, I themed it around the Polar Express and Light Fight, and I tried to make it different. I played some videos, but I had some other special guests, and I know, Tom, you came in for a good half of the roundtable, and we had some Light Fight alumni. We had some older ones, newer ones. We had people that wanted to be on Light Fight. We had some people who won the trophy, and then we had some people who just didn't want to go to a pixel class sit in. So they enjoyed that. But I did have other special guests, and I don't know if you saw this, Tom. Before you walked in, you missed some special guests. So let me play this. It's a minute and 20 seconds, and I think you'll get a kick out of this. This is my intro to the Florida 2026 Florida Mega Mini Great Christmas Light Fight Roundtable. Back in 1 minute and 20 seconds because I need a drink.
Hi, Carter.
Hey there, Tanya.
Let's head over to the Great Christmas Light Fight Roundtable.
Let's go.
Wow, look at all those lights.
It's incredible. So many lights. Magical. Wow, it looks amazing.
It really does. They deserve a trophy.
And $50,000. Ho, ho, ho! Here I come, Tanya and Carter.
Okay, Santa, hit it. You're the champion of the Great Christmas Light Fight.
And the $50,000 is yours.
You can win the Light Fight trophy too.
The bell still rings for those who truly believe. Welcome to the Great Christmas Light Fight Roundtable.
A little fun with
Way
AI.
cool. Way cool.
And you notice so it's the church in the background, and then those you might have picked up on it, but people maybe didn't. The light display that Tanya and Carter judged is Bob McDowell and what he does at the church for the community there. So that was cool.
Yeah, the
Hey,
church
let's
has
check
a
on
very
some more
large,
comments. We got a couple.
Yeah.
I don't know. If I can learn AI stuff, especially the video stuff, it's challenging on some of those tools, especially if you don't pay for them and you get your limited times. It's challenging. But I got some comments here. Let's see what we got. Carl, Evan wants to know if he wants to reach out about next year. Where can he reach out to?
You can reach out to me at jinglebumpers@gmail.com.
Yeah, I think I'd also say you can go to floridamegamini.com. I believe there's some contact links there.
Yep.
If you haven't been to the website yet, this year's information's still up, so go see what you missed. Download some of the documents. It's
And can I add something real quick?
it's very helpful.
Devin, we really appreciate
Sure.
you. And actually,
Yep.
I spoke to I think it was the Beck couple, husband and wife, and they were telling me about one of their props, and I said, why don't you teach about it next year? You know, they have servos going on and everything. They're like, teach? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. You don't necessarily have to know like this great topic and know everything, but some people have, a unique thing or a unique skill or they're masters at one little thing. Like I know a few people that off the top of my head that are excellent at mapping and creating like submodels to their show, and so that's where, even if you think that you're not like this super skilled person that knows everything, I'm sure there's something that that you can share and teach others, and that's the kind of stuff that we need.
That's true. I mean, last year, a few light fighters who I'm friends with went and they taught classes, and they had trouble coming up with classes. Then I said, well, what do you do in your display? And Patrick Mock from season 12 of Light Fight, he's like, well, I make my own wireframe. So last year he did a class on that. Jordan raises stuff for the Make-A-Wish Foundation, Jordan Maywald. He talked about that. So there's different things you can do. By the way, speaking of Jordan Maywald, throw this up real quick. Did you know Jordan Maywald has an almost life-size Polar Express train?
Wow.
In his display. At least he did. Nice. This was his last year of the display at his house. Anyway, sorry, Carl, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, and so what Fred said, and it's, if you want to teach a class, look us up. We start looking, now you can start hitting us up so we can plan, but if it's a great, if it's a good topic, and we really look for things that are new and cutting edge too, right? So, and even the instructors that did the intensives, I'll always ask them, because for the most part, they've already done that for 2 days, and then they want to just go to the event, and I'll hit them up and say, can you do a class? And they like, sure. And they'll pick a different topic. So everybody is full of different ideas. So please, if you have an idea and you think it's something that people would be interested in, let us know.
Yeah, put it on the table, people. For example, here's a winner of Light Fight last year. Carl, I'd love for you to come to the Florida Mega Mini and teach a class on how do you do such a big display on a tiny property and make it different and unique in levels. If you don't remember and you saw his episode of Light Fight, he had the tiny display in Arizona, but then there were all these little windows that you kept looking into, and it was pretty cool. By the way, did you know this? Brad says you're coming to Ohio this year, Tom.
Oh,
is that true?
Sweet. I'll just jump in Russell's car.
By the way, SFL did, Jason confirmed they had several new products this year, and he was showing me some different things. So there's all kinds of cool stuff. What did Jeff Garvis say? The Fusion 360 class was awesome. What's Fusion 360? Is that 3D printing? I don't know. I should have went to the class.
Designing a 3D
For doing
printing.
a design.
Yeah. Got it. I'm keeping AI in business, is what Candace is saying. Tanya said the same thing about winning to us. Oh, what, you deserve the Light Fight trophy? Or you can hear the bell ring? All right, let me scroll down here.
Brian, I don't know if you know this, but Tanya actually said hi to everybody, because we still chat every once in a while. And we almost had her on a FaceTime call at dinner.
You told me that she said hi when we were leaving the round table. That would have been awesome.
Yeah,
I got to make sure she sees the video.
Yeah.
Gonna get that. All right. Let me move it along a little bit here. We're going to talk about the dinner. Continue my collection of these from James. So forgive me if we weren't supposed to take one.
It's okay.
No, we always end up with a couple extras. So just not everybody take them.
Well, not enough. It was again, the Polar Express. It was the hot chocolate dinner. If you ever seen the movie, the hot chocolate theme, there was a nice light show. And then I'm going to play Mike Williams, who was the entertainment, shortly when we close out the session. And I'll ask one of you guys to preface that a little bit, but keep that thought. The dinner was awesome. The food was great. The church members serving us was great. The camaraderie was great. The light show was great. Any call outs on the, what can you tell us about the light shows? Not every mini has a giant stage with a light show on it. Besides Bob McDowell doing it through the church, like what else is into that? Who programs the sequences? How long does it take to put it up? Anybody want to talk about that?
Fred, you want me?
I can speak to some things. Funny enough that we're actually talking about it. I think it was yesterday morning about some of the stats. So some of the props belong to the actual church. Some props this year were cut by Barry Production, Bob McDowell. Some of them were also donated by some of our vendors, so I think the lamppost and a few others. So there's a mixture. But they take probably a solid 3 days putting it up. They got a whole scissor lift and everything up there. But let's see here. Some of the stats that Bob gave us: 9,938 seeds, 10,044 bullet pixels, 127 extensions, 8 controllers with expansion ports, expansion boards, and the matrix, the whole video wall, has over 500,000 pixels.
Oh, wow. Those stats were so impressive that it froze you up, Fred.
Oh,
well, we can hear your voice. That's great. Wow,
Yeah,
that's crazy.
So it's even more interesting because what a lot of people don't realize is that Bob designs the layout, and we have to get sequencers to help us, right? So we had this year
Extreme.
We also had
Innovative, I believe.
No, let me find I thought I actually had that up here. Give me a second here. Blinky Sequences was another. I thought I actually had that up here.
Yeah, and you had the
I thought
Polar Express theme.
Barry,
You had the hot
Barry?
chocolate. You had the Believe.
Yep.
Then you had, then of course you had X Lights Around the World play. You had the Lightorama montage play. So I mean that stage got used for a lot of different things.
Yeah, we had some pretty interesting props too that were multi-purpose. So like we had the 4 golden tickets with each of the message, but within that choro was also the 4 logos of our dinner sponsors. So at some given point they would light up, and some they weren't. There was a few little Easter eggs. And
Sorry. So Pixel Pro displays, Extreme, Sequence Solutions, and it threw me off because one of it was showing a different vendor, but it's Blinky Sequences. Yep. They had a different vendor name, so I was kind of questioning, like, where'd they get that? And then as far as the X Lights Around the World, who's the one that did the X Lights Around the World sequence itself?
Matt Phipps, didn't he do that?
I think so.
Yeah, so Matt Phipps actually did
former
the
light fighter.
Yeah, so getting all that together literally happens an hour or two before the show. Like because they got to finish
way in advance, but actually mapping it to the stage happens hours before it.
Because a lot of the stuff we don't get it until the vendors show up. Sometimes things get missed. Sometimes we have to take things out last second. So it's almost like doing a live show. So
for those that have never been there, I mean, you're talking 2-3 stories tall. I mean, this is huge. Besides being like 50 yards wide, so it's an awesome. It's really cool to see, especially with all the screens and then all the stage lighting that's part of the church's AV system. It's really cool. It's really cool. I got one of these too. Sasquatch. Thanks, JR.
I think I still have one in my wheelchair.
Let's see what else we got. Oh, they were letting Fred know they're frozen. I'm not getting used to that private chat thing. That's pretty. I always forget it's there.
That's what happens. You know, you get after these things, you get after the event, and you kind of forget. It's like it just becomes like, what did we do? We have to look it up.
I know. I tried remembering all the names and all that good stuff. But Matt Phipps did
Matt did X Lights Around the World. And that's another, Russell is involved and Jordan's putting everything together for that. So the folks that work on the Mega Mini are also doing these other things besides their day jobs, right?
Yeah, Jordan
so it's
told
not
me,
just a one event.
I saw Jordan's gear that he brings and plugs into the church's system. And he says his backpack is 80 pounds. He carries 3 laptops, 2 Stream Decks, and a bunch of other stuff. It's crazy.
And a partridge in a pear tree. Yep.
Yeah. By the way, Brad's calling out Barry Wiles, thanking him.
Yep, Sequence Solutions.
Sequence Solutions, yep. I said
yep,
that.
Sequence Solutions.
Oh, for the sequence, yeah. And then Devin says, impressive, cool idea, do a mini. You got to get to one. You got to get to one, Devin. You know, speaking of media and assets, I think it's time I play the little highlight video I put. So if this is a point where you need a drink or something, still watch, but you're going to have a couple-minute video. But a couple things. One is, Carl gives out trinkets. You know, I don't have a Jeep, but I do have a snowman duck that I can use this on the next cruise I go on, which is going to be the Mini at Sea 2027.
Mini at Sea.
I can give that away. But I mentioned it earlier. I'm going to play my highlight video, and it was in a church, and I got this from Carl too. I showed him my little Jesus.
Because
cool.
everybody needs a little Jesus.
And but you'll see him in the video. See if you can see him. Don't go anywhere, guys, unless you have to. This video is 5.5 minutes. So you can sit, enjoy it, see what I put together from the footage. It's kind of fun. And when we get back, we'll be on the other side of this. We're that'll put us at 1 hour. And I told you we would go 60 to 90 minutes, somewhere in between. We can wrap things up on the other side. But check out, get your comments in, hit like, hit subscribe, turn on that notifications. Let us know what you want to talk about when we get back from this video. But enjoy this video. If you weren't there or if you were there, you might see yourself in it.
The bell still rings for those who truly believe.
All right, a little fun. The hardest part is you want to use the real music, but YouTube and Facebook won't let you. So I've used those songs before, so we're okay. We're okay. But hey, just a little fun highlight video. There's more. There's lots of things I wanted to do, but if any of you have highlight videos that you want to put together, do so. Share them with us. And I know what people are asking for, and I asked, and it was in there from the screen. When are we going to see that group photo?
It's coming. It's coming. We got the photographer actually took close to 700 shots, and they're working through them and trying to get them delivered much faster than I used to. Because I used.
By the way, was the photographer a professional, or was that another volunteer? She did a great job.
They're professional. They do day to day every day. They actually have a major in photography. They do real estate photography on a daily basis, but they do events, weddings, you name it.
I'm excited to see them. I still wish I saw more photos from last year too. You guys use that stuff for marketing and stuff. All right. Last couple things. First of all, get your final comments, and we're close to finishing up. But the next thing I want to talk about to kind of wrap things up is the entertainment. Now, everybody there is entertaining, but this year you had a special guest, a totally different spin than the Tanya Nyack theme last year and the Christmas Light Fight theme last year. Mike Williams, how did you come up with entertainment for this year, and how did he tie in? And then we're going to play his message when we wrap up the show here, but anyone want to get the take on where Mike came from and pitch him a little bit about what he offers?
Me?
Yep, you got those.
You.
So we always toss around the idea of who should be our next keynote. Who's got a good message? Who's got, who's a staple of our community? And we decided to kind of pivot and say, you know what, let's bring an act. We were tossing around an idea about doing like a magician or something. And Mike Williams is a friend of one of our committee members, and actually he's well known in. I guess he performs around the nation for churches. We had talked to the church staff. Hey, we know this comedian. He lives in Lakeland. And they're like, Mike Williams. I'm like, yeah. How do you know? He goes, he's actually performed here. He's filled the whole church. His average show has 1,200 plus people. So he travels the nation doing comedy, and we figured it would be a good change of pace. And we met with him, and we gave him some inside little nuggets, if you will, of things to bring to his act and touch base on. And he actually donated his time. He donated his time for the event. And we thought it would be fitting for us to ask, we donated to his cause. He actually has a mission to help young women from Dominican Republic to avoid being trafficked. And we hopefully, I don't know for a fact, but we asked everybody that attended if they would be so gracious to also donate to his cause. But towards the end, the closing notes, and I won't touch on them yet, but that was all him. We did not coach him on what to say. And he hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, I think I saw a lot of people with tears in their eyes, self included.
Self.
And then I thank you guys for sharing it. It's gone, I'll call it viral within our community. You're seeing it reposted. So we are going to wrap up shortly. We're going to play that message here, and I hope people hang on and listen to it before I end the show. But I guess he's a perfect example of coming from a poor family, an adopted kid, lots of tragedies in his life, turns him around to positivity. Yeah, it was interesting to learn. He literally used to write bumper stickers for people that remember those. That was fun. He used to write for Carrot Top, the comedian. Yep. That was interesting.
Jay Leno as
well. Talk about his mission, and And I didn't know what to expect, to be honest, when I first saw the entertainment. I was like, oh, it'd probably be a good motivational type speech. And it really turned into not only motivational, emotional, and totally fitting for why almost everybody that's in the lighting community does what they do besides it being a hobby. It's what you do and the hope that you bring to people. So when I do play the message here, it's really befitting, and I think it's worth continuing to share. So if anybody else is there and has comments on that, get them in. We're going to get our last couple comments in, last couple thoughts here. What I thought we'd do is we catch up on the comments. We'll get some final thoughts from the guys here, and then I'll play Mike's video, which is about 7 minutes long. So then you'll come back to see my ugly mug, and then I'll end the show. But yeah, it was great. It's
Can you give Brian the link for the?
Yep, it's in the private chat.
What's that? The link for?
Yeah,
the link for Mike Williams' mission.
Oh, for his mission. Yes. Let me Control C. Let's go to we'll do this. Let's do a new comment. See, I'm doing this live.
Better than our lives.
Yeah.
And then we will show it here, and we will hit save. At least I'm trying to hit save. There we go. I think it's up there. There you go. If you want to learn more about Mike Williams' mission, cupsmission.com, definitely check it out. And if you have not seen the video that we're going to play in a minute, you're going to definitely want to check that out again. Let's pop it up one more time. Incredible story. By the way, he had his hairdo look like Guy Fieri a little bit. And my wife goes, I don't think that hair is real. And then sure enough, he did a joke where he pulled it off. It was hilarious. But you know what? I didn't even notice too, the Polar Express bell. So let me spoil, maybe I'm not spoiling it for they weren't there, but on the stage, the light show that we had, at the very top middle, there was a round bell. When Mike started his speech, you couldn't hear the bell ring. So if you've seen the Polar Express, the theme of that is the bell still rings for those who believe. And at the end of Mike's speech, after he gives this really great motivational, emotional speech, the bell plays, and I think everybody hears it. So that was a cool idea. I don't know how you guys coordinated all that, but that was really cool.
So that was all custom, by the way. Those tickets, all that stuff was designed and made by Jordan and Bob, and Jordan kind of helped design the outlines, and Bob did this.
And I think the bell thing was Jordan's idea.
Yeah, it was really cool. Really cool.
And that all had to get sequenced. I mean, if you look, the ringing is timed.
Oh yeah, when he rings it
it's right at
so that all had to be done. That was cool.
It's cool.
So we're gonna play that in a minute, but before we do, I want to get some final thoughts. And one of the final thoughts is, and we can go around the horn here, but next year's theme was announced, and the dates are interesting because before one of you talk about it, one of the challenges I think this year, and this probably wasn't just me that experienced it, the weekend you picked was spring break, and you're right outside of Tampa, so a little hard to coordinate. Some people couldn't come because they go spring break. Sometimes the airfare was more, hotels were more, but you guys are changing things up next year. Who wants to talk about next year's theme and next year's dates?
Fred, or you want me?
Go ahead.
Come on, Fred.
All right. So next year's theme is going to be the Santa Claus, the Tim Allen version. So that's going to be interesting. So the dates, we ended up going with the April 14th through the 17th next year. And as far as dates, it's one of the hardest things that we have to come up with because we try to stay away from other events, and then you also got to coordinate with the facility, and they have dates they can do, they have dates they can't. And so by the time we worked out dates for this year, that's why we ended up having to go early because of the way the dates worked out. So coming up with the dates every year is more to it than people think, because we got here in the Tampa area, you got Strawberry Festival, you got Gasparilla, you got Sun and Fun, you got, just things going all over, plus Easter and spring breaks and, college.
And then other
breaks,
minis
and other minis
and all the other stuff
the
coming
Trans
up.
Worlds and East Coast, and it's a lot that goes into the thought process, and luckily we're ahead of
Well-
the game this year for a change.
No,
We
I like
don't
it
want
because,
to do it
again,
too far into the summer where people will come to the event and they're trying to go to the parks, but they're just melting on the pavement. You know, it's we try
Including
to.
me.
hey, at least I get to come back to or the state of Florida twice in 2 months. You know, the mini at Sea's leaving out of Orlando in February. Then I'll get to come back in April. How awesome is that?
That's right.
Okay, so again, April 14th to 17th, put it on your calendar. By the way, if you need a calendar, Ken from Wired Watts runs a site called xmasminis.com, and you can see all the minis coming up. If you're going to host a mini, you can put it there. It has all the different trade shows listed, xmasminis.com. And then again, back to Mike's mission again, cupsmission.com. Tom, thank you for putting it in there besides the chat. Carl, any last things you want to talk about before I roll Mike Williams' awesome message?
No, I think that this year was a great year. You know, last year we had, you know, Tanya. It was really a huge production, and of course, first year in the church. And then this year, I think the folks outdid themselves. I have to say that the event went off, and I think the closing part is what you don't see. I think is what's important to put these things together, right? I mean, it takes you know hundreds of hours and several months to really put this together. And when the people walk in for the first time, what they see is it may not be 100% perfect, but it's pretty close, right? And I think it is the vendors, it's the board, it's the committee, it's the volunteers. I think everybody just
The
pulls it together.
facility. I mean, it's just
The facility, yeah. I mean, and I got to say, Tom and Fred, man, you never see them stopping. They're always doing something and running somewhere. So it
Literally,
I
definitely
said they don't
takes a
even get to go to
village.
the class. They were filming, coordinating things, putting out fires.
Absolutely.
So,
Yep.
oh, you just reminded me of something I wanted to ask you to poke here too. Maybe I'll think about it. What was it? It was important. It was important. But yeah, no, I totally agree. Fred, maybe I'll think of it while you're giving last
go.
comments.
Well, I think my connection here is not very well, but no, it's I reiterate what Carl is saying. It's not just one person or another. It's a whole team effort. Every year we strive to do bigger, better, and sometimes we manage to, and sometimes we miss the note. But you know, it's a nonprofit organized group of volunteers that put on this event, and we do it for the community so everybody can learn, everybody can find the newest, meet their favorite vendors, get to know other people. You know, how many times a day do we not comment back and forth with people online in the groups, and we've never met them? This is the, you know, one of the many reasons why we put on the Mega Mini.
Yeah, and besides the event, I mean, there were after-hour stuff, the Irish pub, some other places. We went to dinner with people. They were fun too. And I did remember what I was going to say, and I don't know if you want to pitch it, because I'm negligent too. I still have to do it. The survey, if people are watching, there was a survey sent out. What worked, what didn't, what can be improved, what would you like to see? Make sure you get that survey in. It was sent to you as a registrant via your email, correct, guys?
Correct.
Yeah, and just to go on that, we have a meeting on Monday, and we go over that survey front to back.
Very long meeting.
Yeah, it's a very long
Yeah,
meeting.
I got to do mine yet.
Yeah.
For what it's worth, the only hiccup I really saw this year during the raffles, some of the screens not showing up for Mickey and Minnie. So that stuff happens, but I'm sure that's probably a comment you're going to get is something like that.
Oh yeah. we were already working on what we're going to do differently next year. So.
Yeah. What I want to say is, one, again, thank you for having me there. Thank you for the effort you guys put in, the time. I know it's a lot of personal commitment. Thank you to the vendor, the facility. Thank you to all the attendees that come and support the minis. It's something you got to do at least once. And once you go, you're going to probably go multiple years in a row. Sometimes you might have to miss. So definitely want to do that. Want to check in on the last comments, because we're probably going to end it after I play Mike's video. But Jason hits right on it. Go to your other minis. Go to xmasminis.com. There are a ton of minis coming up over the next 3-4 months, even all the way up into fall. So make sure you do that. Support the community.
And Brian, you almost didn't make it, by the way, right? You were kind of
no,
on
I
the
didn't.
fence
It
a
was
little bit, right?
I had a couple different reasons, but what saved me at the end of the day is short story is last year we planned on going to the Christmas Expo in Texas, and I literally booked my airfare, and then a week later they canceled it. So I forgot about that. So besides some other things going on with some other personal things, I got a notice from American Airlines that I was about to lose almost $1,000 in credit. So that made an expensive airfare ticket because of waiting so long, and with spring break, I was able to make it work. And luckily I blocked the hotel, which by the way, I was in the Hampton Inn. I thought I was in the Hampton Inn last year. I guess it was the Fairfield. The Hampton Inn was really nice. It's like really new. So that's where I'm going to go next year, or the Town Place Suites. Let me check on these final comments. Aaron Smith was a great mini. You're all awesome. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for watching, Aaron. Ray says the Wi-Fi was challenging. I know when I was doing my live, I was going off my cellular, but when I went into one of the classrooms, I got killed. I guess the steel building did something there. So Candace says we're all the best. Thank you, everybody. What else do we got? Again, Devins, thank you for doing the event. You're going to get there. You're going to get there. The last thing I want to say, too, is I forgot to mention it, but if you follow me, there were 17 light fighters there, not even counting their extended family. So that was fun, even though it wasn't a year. We had a great time. Enjoy the friendship here. Thank you for letting me videotape stuff and not looking like an idiot. I mean, this year you guys were really filming a lot, so that was fun. I'm going to end it with, by the way, thanks. Jim Hendricks says thanks for the Fred Bucks again.
So the funny story is I was not in on that, by the way. I was not in on that. I saw Tom sneaking around a box that looked like he had a poster in it, and he was sneaking around. I was like, I know all the signage is out. What is he up to? And then during the game show, they were saying, oh, you're going to win $1 million Fred Bucks. I'm like, who came up with this name? He goes, I don't know. He's just playing dumb.
Well, you saw it. It was the big Coro poster, I guess, and you signed it, and it made it home. It made it home. Got it. By the way, before I forget these guys, Brandon Brown joined from Candyland Christmas. He went to the Mega Mini last year and couldn't make it this year, but he's planning to go in another one. Hey, Brandon. I've been to this display. Carl's commenting once again. Come see us in Arizona at the Southwest Mini. See, Carl is going to go to a Mini, and hopefully maybe you're teaching a class, the Southwest Mini. Man, that's the only thing. I would love to go to all of them, but have to be retired, have some money stashed away, and time. So time get to all these, but it's so great to support what you can. Bill Riera is saying, again, Southwest Mini, sounds like he's going to be there as well. I think that's I think Michelle Cracklow's helping out with that. I could be wrong, or Ron Howard, or a few of the others. But yeah, definitely get to those minis. All right. Let me check one other thing. All right. Fred, perfect timing. You're going to be dropping off. But hey, folks, thank you for joining again. Carl, Fred, Tom, thank you again to all the committee. I'm going to play Mike Williams' message. It's about 7 minutes long. It will come back to me and whoever else is still hanging here. But if you guys got to go, that's fine. Watch the message. Please don't leave yet if you haven't seen this message. And then when it's on the other side, I'll say goodbye and we'll end the show. And you'll get to watch my my intro I made again, but as the outro that shows some cool stuff. So, guys, have a great night.
Thank you for having us.
Have a great weekend. And
thank you.
Hopefully we'll see you at one of the other future minis. And with that being said, let me play Mike Williams' message. And it's definitely a doozy here. Got my tissue ready so I can cry. Here we go, guys. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mike Williams.
Have you had a good time tonight? Me too. It's been great being with you. Now, don't leave. We're only here for about just a few more seconds, and before we leave, we're going to do the big car giveaway, so just hang on. I told you I was from Chicago, Illinois. Anybody here from Chicago? Where's my Chicago people? What part? Oh, okay. I used to steal hubcaps up there. Thank you, ma'am. If I had some CDs, I'd give them to you. Born into this very street home, welfare home. Nobody gets to pick their parents. If you got good parents, I hope you stop and thank God every day that you got great parents. I'm the youngest of 5 children. My oldest brother was killed in the streets of Chicago at 17 years of age. My next brother died in a jail cell in Louisiana at 17. My life goes through a series of craziness. I end up being given away to this family that couldn't have children because the mother of the family had multiple sclerosis, and they had prayed for 12 years that God would give them a child, and God gave them me. Be careful what you pray for. That's the message tonight, folks. Be careful what you pray for. Be specific. When I was 11 and 12, my father from that adopted family went through a series of accidents. He was an auto mechanic, and he had a lift come down and smash him. And in the recovery of that, he was in the hospital all the way through Thanksgiving and all the way through Christmas. And he got out for a while, and then he was in a horrible auto accident. He was hit from behind, and his back was broken, and we spent a second year in the hospital for Thanksgiving and Christmas. And I remember every day after school, my mom would pick me up, and we'd go up to the hospital, and we'd sit with him until time to go. And for a kid, that isn't the most exciting thing to do in life. But I remember what I believe gave me courage and strength in it was as we got into December, folks like you would start lighting your Christmas lights. And we'd go home, and it was depressing. I knew that those years were not going to be years with great gifts and wonderful toys. But on the way home, I'd say, Mom, would you drive past this block where that house is and this block where this house is? And I'd see those crazy lights, and somehow those lights gave me hope. Now, I know that we come to events like this, some of us with great joys in our life, but I know some of you come to events like this, and you're going home to a mess. And I know that you too tonight need hope. You too tonight need to believe that there will be light at the end of the tunnel. And I would love to address that tonight, but I can't. What I want to address tonight is to say to you, thank you. Thank you for the hours that you put in. And your neighbors probably, you know this, your neighbors, some of your neighbors think you're absolutely out of it. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, you probably have a list of them. Some of them have called the police on you because you're disturbing the peace with joy. Yeah. But you know what? There's people, and I think you know this because I'm betting money that this is why a lot of you do it. That you know that there are people driving down your blocks at Christmas time who are hurting. They've lost family members. They've lost children, lost jobs, dealing with addictions. They've lost hope. And then they come upon your house, and all of a sudden, those lights become like the stars in the heaven, brought flesh. And for just a minute, they stop and they hear the music and they watch the pulsating lights. And for just a second or a minute or 5 minutes, peace comes over them. A seed of hope is planted in their heart. And because of you, they're given strength to carry on. Thank you. Thank you for planting seeds of hope, because the world needs that right now. And it needs it more and more. So when it gets a little tough and that year that you're coming up and you go, are we going to do it again? Do it again. When you're at the airport trying to figure out how you're going to get that star on the plane, I thought about that when they gave that away. I said, that should be a raffle for only people who drove here. Don't give up. You know, that bell that Jordan decided needed to be in the program, pretty simple. But you're going to make that bell ring for people this year. You're going to give them hope. And because of you, some of them are going to believe again in your community. They're going to believe that it can be different, and you will have given them the strength to keep on going one more year until help comes. So I say, thank you. Keep up the good work. I salute you on behalf of everyone who's lost hope and found it again. Thank you. Buddy, can you put that bell up there one more time? Share the hope. Believe again. Good night. God bless you.
What a great message from Mike Williams. Thank you for joining us tonight. Hopefully that was inspirational to you. Please share it. It's available on a lot of Facebook posts. You can restream it here or go to the Florida Mega Mini Facebook page. It's posted there. And thank you, Mike, for really driving it home for those that don't understand why a lot of us do this. And really, really appreciate it. I'm Brian Michael, the Librarian, your resource for anything related to the Great Christmas Light Fight. And just remember that the bell still rings for those who truly believe. What a great message. Enjoy your night, and God bless.
The 2026 Florida Mega Mini, the premier conference for DIY Christmas and holiday lighting. It's enthusiast, driven, and community-focused. It's Christmas magic, not hocus pocus! The 2020 sees Florida Mega Mini, a train load of experiences for the lighting community, with a steam train full of experiences that will baffle. Intensive classes,
Professional workshops,
insightful demonstrations, and an exciting raffle. The train junction offers amenities for its passengers. A band, a vendor hall, designed for attendees to enhance their knowledge, networking with peers, and explore